Hello, I'm Diana Lees, and I've been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, which is a terminal diagnosis in the mind of the U.S. medical establishment. The cancer is stage 4 because it began in my vagina and spread to include my rectum, anus, and bladder. But diagnosis or not, I am not giving up. I'm sick, but I don't feel like I'm dying, and I have no intention of leaving the planet anytime soon. So really, my job is to figure out what to do about the cancer. Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. For 23 years, I was a medical industry insider, which means I know how the system works. And even so, I chose to decline the U.S. healthcare standard of care for this cancer, which is radiation with chemotherapy. Why? Well, let me tell you how that shook out. I gave the chemo a very fair hearing. I spent quite a lot of hours with the oncologists to learn what treatments would be like and what they would result in, and the prognosis once they were done. And here's the upshot. They said, come in for 5 weeks of radiation with chemo every day, and then at the end of that, we'll go in and surgically remove whatever's left of the tumor that didn't get melted away. And at that point, you'll be cancer-free. And I said, wow, that's pretty good. That's simple enough. Wait a minute, I asked. A couple months ago, I had a couple procedures done, and I now have a bag for number 1 and a bag for number 2 hanging off my body. Will those bags still be needed, or will they be gone after the treatment? And they looked at me like I had 2 heads and said, no, of course they'll be needed. Every place in your body that had cancer or was touched by the cancer, that part of your body will just be gone after this treatment's over. Whoa, wait a sec. It actually took me a couple of minutes to get that, honestly, because they said to me basically that I was going to be left with half a body. All those organs I reeled off for you in the beginning, gone. Half a body, and half a life. That's not the idea. Oh, and then they let slip that if I were an older patient, elderly, they wouldn't offer treatment at all, that because of the state of my cancer, they would just recommend that I join hospice and die gracefully. Okay, I can see we're not in alignment here. They're not shooting for a full recovery. They're shooting for me having half a body and half a life and being a dead woman walking. And I'm shooting for full recovery. It's not going to work. So I chose not to take those treatments. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, says that 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime, starting now. 1 in 2. I don't know about you, but I find that shocking and horrifying. And the U.S. medical establishment, the Western medical establishment, really does not have an effective cure. This means that there's a better than 50-50 chance that cancer will touch you closely. It could affect a family member or a loved one, even a child. It could be really rough. But there's really good news too, because there's actually hope. You see, when I resigned that or declined that treatment, I did it because I knew there had to be something better, and I wanted something more, something better. I had a glimmer already. I've done all sorts of homework, looking around, exploring to see what cancer treatments are available. Not just in the U.S., you understand, but all over the world. And what I've discovered is that there's a huge, huge number of people working in this area, and a huge array of different things that you can actually go get done. Cancer treatments. For instance, I found in Europe, advanced diagnostics are being used in some places that they test the tumor cells to see what chemotherapy agents they respond to, and then use the ones that are effective on the tumor cells, on the actual cancer in the body. What a great idea! So you don't have the risk, it's in sharp contrast to the American system, because in the American system, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has to approve a drug for a particular application. So if you have a drug that you want to market as a drug company, and you're wanting to market it for breast cancer, then you do the testing that the FDA requires for the breast cancer drug, and then the FDA approves or disapproves your claims. That means your doctor, you the patient now, your doctor has basically a recipe book, a cookbook that says if your patient has this type of cancer, then these are the treatments that are available to this patient. Usually it's one treatment possible for any given type of cancer. Now here's the tricky part. These treatments don't always work. And so if your doctor uses the one treatment that was accepted and approved for your cancer and it does not work, unfortunately, there is no plan B. There's no backup strategy. There's no alternatives. That's pretty grim. And that's why some of us look offshore. And that's what I'm doing. Been doing. Well, I think the main point here is that there's this enormous global groundswell of anti-cancer research going on at the same time as cancer is becoming what I would call a pandemic. That's exciting. And it's spurred something in me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have a mission. I didn't know I had a mission, but I do. I want to create a movement, a global network of the best of the cancer researchers coming together to collaboratively solve the problem of cancer, to discover a cure once and for all. This has been staring me in the face forever. I've sat here for decades watching traditional, hospital-type medicine being practiced and also watching some alternative things being done and going, gosh, it would be so great to find some way to build a bridge between these disciplines because they both have strengths, but they both have weaknesses. And together they'd be so much stronger. I've always wanted to do that. And then I thought it was too big. I thought the problem was too big. So I let it go. And then I got cancer. And for a long time, I was so debilitated I could do nothing. But I've been getting stronger recently again, and I'm excited about that. And I started looking at this picture again and thought, wow, this is crazy. It's staring me in the face like someone's got to do this. I've got stage 4 cancer, but I really see the power in this, and I really think I want to do it. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be me. And if you think this is a huge goal, darn tootin' it is. And does it scare the crap out of me? Yes, it does. To be honest with you, it totally does. But it also excites me. And the excitement at the moment is winning, which is good. But the problem is, even though I'm excited, I'm still a cancer patient, and I need to get better before I could launch into something like this and expect to not just fall apart in it. I spend a lot of time with my eyes closed. I fall asleep mid-sentence sometimes. I'm in pain most of the time. Some days, like today, I'm blessed. I have less pain or no pain. But it's really challenging right now. My life is really challenging right now. Living is challenging. So I need to get better before I can do this. And that's where I need some help. I want to go to that clinic. Oh, I didn't tell you about the clinic. There's a clinic that uses those advanced diagnostic procedures and has access to all sorts of 20 or 30 different anti-cancer approaches. And it's not in the U.S., so it can be totally flexible. They can create custom-tailored, personalized medical approach for each patient. It just gives me the best chance of not only surviving the cancer, but thriving and recovering fully as a result. That's where I want to go. Unfortunately, though, of course, it's not in the U.S., therefore it's not covered by insurance. It's also not cheap. So eventually we realized we had to start a fundraiser. So we have a fundraiser going on GoFundMe, and you should see the URL on the screen somewhere. Come to the page. Join us. Give us your contributions of ideas, not just money, but ideas. And share this with your friends. Tell everybody you know. Spread the word, because this cancer problem is huge. It's global. It will affect all of us. But working together, we have the best chance of making it work. Together, we can conquer cancer. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the other side.